Hello and welcome back to the channel. Amber here, and today we are breaking down episode 3 of Murderbot on Apple TV. Before we begin, my short review is this. Episode 3, titled Risk Assessment, has some big things going for it. One of my favorite lines happens at the beginning when Ratthi becomes upset about the way the company uses SecUnits. While pointing to Murderbot, he says, "This is no more a machine than Garathan is," to which Murderbot says, "Oh, hold on, I definitely am." It bristles at the comparison. The theme here is identity and autonomy. Murderbot doesn't want to be defined. Ratthi sees Murderbot as a person, not a tool, and compares it to Garathan, who's heavily modified. But the point is that both are blends of machine and human, but Murderbot rejects that. It doesn't want to be human or to be part of the preservation team's moral narrative. It insists on its own definition, not he or she, but it, machine. Not because it believes the company is right, but because it wants the space to define itself on its own terms. It's about control over its body, its label, and its choice. So a really great little moment right here and a fun episode all around. My other highlight is the Murderbot versus advanced SecUnit fight. It's short and sweet, but the way the visuals break down Murderbot's anticipation and understanding of the other SecUnit's programmed fighting maneuvers were a really great reveal. It's a sci-fi trope that doesn't always land, but it's just a short little scene that felt well earned. It's good getting to see Murderbot fight. The last thing I want to touch on is the characterizations of the preservation team as a little goofy. Personally, I think this works for TV. There's a specific moment that happens later in the episode that gets to the heart of why I think it works. So I'll explain more when we get to the scene. And before we begin, if you enjoy these breakdowns and want to help support the channel, check out Road to Valon on Patreon or YouTube memberships. And if that isn't your thing, you can help by liking this video and by subscribing to the channel for more breakdowns. So let's jump into it. While everyone's packing for the trip, Garathan tries to talk Mensa out of going. She shuts it down calmly. If Delt falls in trouble, it's their job to help, and the company would love it if they quit because it would prove the free planets can't handle themselves. As we head out to the Deltfall location, Murderbot watches its feed. The Deltfall team has 3 SecUnits, and the comms could be damaged. Ratthi questions Murderbot about being built with human tissue and asks it if it has human feelings because it seems like it does. Ratthi is conflicted. It feels weird not to treat Murderbot as a person. He thinks the practice of using the SecUnits isn't ethical. It's slavery. Murderbot checks back in on the Preservation Ox habitat, and we move to Bardawaj quietly sobbing due to her near-death experience. And I really enjoy this scene. Garathan tries to help her. He offers her some behavioral therapy modules. He's trying to fix her problems, to help her solve them diagnostically. But Bardawaj declines, saying, "I think I'm okay." At this moment, Bardawaj is very clearly going through something tough. My interpretation is that she appears as though she wants someone to be there for her emotionally. She's most likely looking for some kind words or someone to sit close or just listen to her as she works through what happened. And Garathan wants to help, but the way he does it is different. He doesn't show emotions. Instead of giving her a hug or saying, "I'm here for you," he tries to fix the problem or explain what's happening. That's how he shows care, by thinking through the situation and offering information. It comes off as cold or unkind, but it's not. He just relates to people more through logic than feelings. He doesn't understand that Bardouage needs emotional support, not a clinical method of problem solving. He's doing what makes sense to him, but misses what she actually needs at that moment. I think it's a brilliant little moment of character work. This interaction just shows the similarities between Garathan and Murderbot, only for the scene to cut to Murderbot watching Garathan, calling him a creepy half man, half lizard. The irony. Then Garathan sneaks into Mensa's room, and Murderbot's doing the math. Corporate spy, sabotage, assassin, hidden explosives under the mattress. Nope. Garathan just walks in and sniffs her bed. That's it. High-level espionage canceled. Just one very awkward scent memory. Then the feed cuts out. Pin Lee says it's been spotty since they arrived. Ratthi doubts it, but Murderbot backs her up and slips up by admitting it's been checking their logs, something the company forces SecUnits to do. This pushes the preservation team to distrust Murderbot even more than they already do. Mensa then requests a conversation with Murderbot. She tells it that the team is just nervous, that they might find the Deltfall team dead. Everyone is jumpy. Mensa feels responsible for the trip. The team hasn't produced any discoveries. Her family didn't want her to go on this trip. While she's pouring her heart out, Murderbot abruptly walks off to check munitions. As the team approaches Deltfall, Ratthi remarks that this other team has a nice habitat, while Murderbot runs some data showing the habitat is the premium package habitat with 3 hubs and over 15 members. They also have a ground vehicle accessory package and are a repeat company customer. After another message goes unanswered, Murderbot recommends that the team land outside the perimeter as a security protocol, and Mensa takes the advice. Murderbot then asks about weapons training. Ratthi didn't finish his, so Mensa tells him to stay in the hopper and monitor. Pin Lee asks who gets the big gun. Murderbot picks it up and gets a nice little action hero strut. As it says,
"Please stay behind me at all times."
We get a nice little image of the local wildlife as the team heads towards the Deltfall habitat. And now we get to see some of the aspects I really love about Murderbot. As they walk, it's constantly scanning and running data. It rained yesterday, the mud has hardened, and there's been no activity in the area since then, and it requests to go ahead alone. As Murderbot takes the lead and preservation team stays behind, Murderbot hails Deltfall, requesting a response with no answer, and gets ready to blow the habitat door, but wait, it's unlocked. Then my next favorite scene happens, and Ratthi chimes in over the comms, adorably warning Murderbot to be careful. I really enjoy how even though everyone is mistrustful of Murderbot, they're such wholesome, good people, they fear anything harming it. And this is why I like the more goofy side of the research team. It backs up this aspect that Apple TV and author Martha Wells has done a very good job of. Humans just can't help but treat Murderbot as a part of the family. It reminds me of an article from way back when robot vacuums started to become popular, where a study was done showing people have started treating their Roombas like a pet, because that's what we humans do. We bond quickly and are wired to see ourselves in things. It's called anthropomorphism. Humans often give human traits to non-human things, and we do it constantly. If something moves on its own, helps us, or just sticks around long enough, we start treating it like a person. It's a cute little quirk of ours because it helps us feel connected. It's easier to trust and care about something if it feels familiar. So we turn robots into pets, little kids will tuck their stuffed animals in at bedtime, and we name our vehicles. As Murderbot leads the way out of protection for the humans, we again see a shift. The preservation team then starts to worry for its well-being, treating it as another human or friend. So making the preservation team a bit goofy and kind helps show how these humans are the outlier. They naturally treat Murderbot like a person. Even if they're unsure at first, their warmth takes over, like Ratthi telling it to be careful. It's sweet and very human. It wouldn't hit the same way if everyone on the team is a hyper competent logician. It also shows how being a little unconventional is okay. I don't think the show is mocking these characteristics, but embracing them. It's showing the value of being different. It's not a flaw. As we continue, Mensa sets up a private channel with Murderbot as it makes its way through the habitat. It detects 3 other SecUnits. It finds the first one in very rough shape and on standby. As it walks by, you see Murderbot crunching the numbers and the threat assessment increases to 87%. As it rounds the corner, it sees a dead body and requests for the preservation team to fall back to the hopper. Everyone in the habitat is dead, and Murderbot doesn't want to cause panic by telling them. There's more problems with the comm, and Murderbot tells them that if they don't hear from it in 10 minutes, the team should leave as fast as possible. It created the comm failure to get them out of danger or out of the way. Murderbot thinks one of the Deltfall SecUnits snapped and went murder happy, and the rest fell trying to stop it. Tragic, heroic, neatly packaged. Murderbot has seen TV. Murderbot knows this plot. It's classic Strife in the Galaxy filler episode nonsense. Too clean, too convenient, and just suspicious enough to make it mad. So it gives one of the lifeless SecUnits a casual toe nudge, and surprise, it's not dead. Murderbot is able to predict the newer, fancier SecUnit's pattern of attack and bests it in a 1 versus 1 fight. Murderbot questions who has taken control of the other SecUnit, and that question is answered immediately. Probably the other SecUnit that is dramatically stepping out of the shadows behind Murderbot right now, raising an arm gun. And that is it, a wrap on episode 3. My hope for the next episode is a little more action and maybe some drones. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you back soon with a podcast episode with my co-host Laura as we dig a little deeper into the episode. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you back next time.